What's up, y'all? It is Friday. That means it's Inside the Ties and the top news in the sneaker world for this week. And obviously, the biggest thing was my book came out on Monday. That means that you can now go and buy the book. That's going to be my spill. I'm not going to beg you guys to go get it or anything else. But the entire time that I've been talking about becoming a sneakerhead to boss, all of that can kind of be, considered the culmination of what's over here to your side when you look at this mouse moving for the book, Nike's Consumer Direct Offense, Amazon, StockX, the disruption of sneaker retail. So you saw last week when I posted how many shoes I sold and all of that information. There's a little bit more information in the book about my last year on Amazon. So not on Amazon, but on StockX. But my entire time, all the money that I made that I was on Amazon, it's in the book also. So you could go year by year and see how much money I made in resale on Amazon. So that's all there as well. So there goes the book. It's in the description down here. Get it, share it with somebody you know. Sneaker culture is doing a lot of work. Sneaker business, everything that we fight for and we love about this business, man, it's all coming together now. And now we're starting to get a real sense of how we can participate in the business beyond just buying every shoe that comes out or talking about colors and stuff like that. So that's my pitch. Hopefully you guys will go and support the book. Hopefully you'll share it with someone, read it, because it's really informative. There's a lot in it. Now, let's get to the big news for this week. And we are starting automatically with Zion. So Zion's shoe ripped, right? It's something that's happened to everybody. If you play ball and you never had a pair of shoes that ripped or did something weird, you probably weren't really balling hard, or you probably had a lot of shoes that you didn't, that you switched out all the time. I actually had my entire foot go through the front of a pair of shoes before. All right. That was my freshman year of college, actually, after the season ended. And we were all just in the gym practicing, and my entire foot went through a shoe. And that happened to almost everybody throughout the season. We played in Reeboks. My Reeboks got ripped up. My Nikes got ripped up, at the end of the season. But this thing about Zion and his shoe exploding and everybody talking about him, not playing for the rest of the year, this is my take. I wrote this over a year ago. Actually almost 2 years ago, when the kid was 16 years old. And I was sincere about it. And I was like, you know what? This kid is amazing. I really hope the world allows him to make mistakes. Now, when I went into that, what I failed to write about was this. People that have YouTube stations have been videotaping this kid for 5-6 years, man. They've been videotaping and putting this kid out. Now, when you get 1 million views on a video, you make between $3,000 to $7,000. Those people have been capitalizing on this kid all this time. But as soon as something happens, they start beating up on the brand, or they start beating up on the kid, and the world has to slow down a little bit. Athletes need to start realizing how important they are and how influential they are. And where I'm going with this is here. Zion had a lot of opportunities. He chose to go to Duke. I think he's going to continue playing the rest of the year once his strain heals, because all he did was hyperextend his leg. I've done it. Everybody that plays ball has done that. But this is the thing. If he had gotten hurt, it would be unfortunate, but I'm sure they've got an insurance policy on him. But at a time where athletes are capable of making a lot of moves outside of the system, it's something that you sneaker guys need to pay attention to too, because you have the chance to make these same kind of moves for yourself as far as business. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of movies that you should watch. A lot of that was kind of off, and tell me, leave a comment and be like, nah, Chris, I didn't quite get what you were saying. But I don't write scripts for these, man. I'm really just kind of speaking from the fact that I didn't write anything about Zion because I had written a lot in the previous years about amateurism. There's a film on Netflix you guys should watch. If you haven't watched it, you need to. Even if you hate this kid just as much as I do because he got Raina shot, that's Raina, that's power, completely different thing. This is a really good movie, and it shows you exactly the type of thing that can start happening for you if you decide to start controlling your own business or your own destiny. And it's a basketball film. You need to watch it. Another film, High Flying Bird, on Netflix. You need to watch it. it's basically in the same vein as Amateur, but it's about the NBA and players who are on lockout in the NBA. Very good film as well. Both films, the acting isn't A1 and perfect, but the scripts are really solid and the stories are solid. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Zion at 18 could have gone into the NBA. He wouldn't have had to worry about this injury or anything else. And the fact that nobody can build a shoe for a dude that's 6'7" that can jump 45 inches in the air by standing flat foot. He should have had something designed around him, but he can't do that because he's an amateur. Now, Tom Brady's manager, Tom Brady's agent, and Tom Brady invested for a league that's coming out this year. And this is important because I want you guys to know about this because you may not have heard of it before. But it's called the Pac Pro. It's a football league, and it's for guys that could be going to college, but instead they're going to go and play in this league that's going to function almost as a feeder system for the NFL. But these guys will be able to get paid. This is the biggest threat to the NCAA and college specifically, the Southeastern Conference and the big Power 5 conferences, or the Power 4, whatever you want to call them. This is a big threat to those conferences because if this league goes well, it's a 4-team league, it should be starting this year. The Pac Pro could set the precedent for sports leagues in America. It's a big deal. I know this was not about sneakers, but it's about business, and this week that's what I'm on. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Start sharing the page, man. Somebody wrote me the other day and it was like, dude, it's amazing that you don't have more followers. I don't ask you guys to subscribe. I don't ask people to do all of that stuff, man. I simply let what happens happen because what's important to me is the work. If I can tell you something or share something new and you learn something, that's the most powerful thing in the world. I appreciate everybody out there. That's the end of this episode. Get it over with. I will say this. Go buy the book. Peace, y'all.